Because if you don't create it, ain't nothing you can say. But every successful person, man, y'all got to get this. Every successful person has a system. That's why, Mike, whenever these coaches leave coaching, what do they become? Inspirational speakers. Tony Dungy makes millions of dollars speaking. They all write a book. Vince Lombardi's been dead for years, and his book is still selling. Why? Because every successful person, RJ, creates a system. There's a set of beliefs and a set of practices, and they marry them, and they do them, and they do it with such consistency till it works. Here's your biggest issue. You fall in and out of love with beliefs and practices because you don't get immediate results. You're going to always be a failure when you don't commit to nothing long enough for it to work. I'm 49 years old. I'm in the best season of my life. It's taken me 25 years. I started pastoring at 21 and a half. Tommy, I'm not new to this. There's a book called The Tipping Point. I introduced it to a group of young adults a while back. Tipping Point has one basic principle. If you do something 10,000 hours in the course of a lifetime, you will get good at it to the point that people will pay you to do it. Here's the difference between people who succeed and people who struggle. People who struggle never find their niche, so they never perfect anything. And they end up always working for people who benefit from them more than they benefit. Because their value is never determined by the level of their performance. That's why McDonald's can swap out the guy who does fries. Because it ain't a skill set. It ain't a skill set to turn fries. Sorry. It ain't. But the guy in the tower that makes sure them planes don't crash makes hundreds of thousands of dollars and can go on strike and get raises. Let McDonald's workers go on strike and see if they don't go down the street and get a whole new set of fry turners. A whole new set. A whole. Not just a new set. You got to put a hole in front of it. A whole new set. I don't know you. Well, I'm new. Where Pookie? He went on strike. Where you at now? Working at Burger King? All right? There was this idea then, and this is foundationally important. Every successful person has a system. So one of the first things you got to begin to understand is, what am I doing intentionally that produces my outcome? I'm going to walk you through the principles. But I'm trying to get you to grasp this, man. Everybody ain't getting this. Some of y'all looking at me. But, man, about the 8 of y'all that do, you're going to build this building. Because here's what changes life. The moment you start saying, okay, this is what I want, this is what I believe God has for me, this is what it takes, and you start creating the environment for it to be achieved, everything around you changes. That's why teenagers, listen, Terry, you can be a millionaire. How old are you, son? You can be a millionaire by 30 if you work a system. By 30, how old are you guys? By 35, your mom and dad can be retired living off you. You want to know why? Because here's what's deep. People who understand this, and see, and can I be real? Black folk ain't taught this stuff as children and teenagers. We ain't taught this. You know what we taught to do? Go get a job. I mean, years ago, I went to Paris, and we ended up in a tour with a lot of and we were the only persons. And there was a family from Greensboro. The father owns an insurance company, very successful. His oldest son is in college. And I watched this father whose sons work his business. RJ, do your sons go to the shop with you and sweep the floor? You're cheating them because they need to watch you make money. And then you give them a quarter for sweeping the floor, and then you teach them what a pull and sweat floor gets them. No quarter. I watched this man require his son to pay for some of his own trip from the money he paid him. It was his money. But he made his son take responsibility. Why? He was teaching him a system. Everyone say system. And so if you don't have a system, I'm going to give you one. It's called principles. And the Bible is nothing, Shana, but principles. That's all it is. Okay, watch this. Y'all still here? Here's the most important question. You still interested? Okay, let's go to the next level. Proverbs chapter 3, verse 2. Write it down. We don't have time to read it. You don't have time to turn to it. I'll read it for you. This is the verse I want to launch into this. Proverbs chapter 3, verse 2. My teaching will give you a long and prosperous life. That's all I want you to, I want you to go home and I want you to read it, Bernice. My teaching will give you, that's the anointing that's over my life. That's the oil that's over my life. My teaching will give you a long and prosperous life. What good is it to be prosperous and you can't enjoy it? And here's one of the things that we got to do. No, listen. No matter where your life has started, you can break the curse of the dysfunction of your past by making some decisions so amazingly intentional till everything in your life looks, Tammy, so different from everything your life has ever looked like. Whoever birthed you and wherever you came from does not have to be the life you live every day. I need y'all to get this. I need y'all to get this. Watch this. Let me give you these principles. Some of them I have Bible verses to. Some of them I don't. It's 10. I'm going to give them to you. I'm going to hit them and keep moving. Okay? These are the building blocks of my success. Here's the first one. You ready? I stay correction ready. Now, these are not in order of priority. They actually came to me as I was writing. I stay correction ready. Write down Proverbs chapter 3, verses 11 through 18. I stay correction ready. The very first principle of my life is that I stay correction ready. Now, what does staying correction ready mean? Here it is, Papa. Correction ready means, this is huge, every situation is a teachable moment. Okay. James, son, pay attention. Every situation is a teachable moment. Remember you got in trouble? What did you learn? All right. It was supposed to teach you. Listen, anything that don't kill you teaches you. So, if you have a bad relationship, what did you learn from it outside of being mad at all men? If you got fired, what did you learn? That's why before you go get married, you need to be counseled. And not counseled so you can get married. Counseled so you can stay married. The first principle of my life, the first building block, is I stay correction ready. And here's what's key about that. Devin, you will never see me among men and women of authority ever talk back. You will never even see me challenge them. So that's why I'm scared for some of you, because some of you challenge me and you don't even know you do. You will never see me raise my voice to a man or woman of authority. I preached in Greenville, South Carolina last night. Alpha and Mike drove me. I have been asked by Bishop Ellis, Neil Ellis, who is starting a fellowship, and all this will make sense to you this time because there's so much connected to it, it's scary. If they tell you my tone on the phone, it was reverent and respectful. And I didn't call him Neil Ellis. Yes, Bishop. He wants me to oversee Christian education. Okay, Bishop, then I need you to give me your vision. Stop trying to tell me what the vision is. I said to Bishop, Bishop, give me your vision. I will come sit with you. His fellowship is being launched on Wednesday. I didn't have a ticket. Bishop said, I need you to come. I said, Bishop, I can't come on Tuesday, sir, because I've been gone so much from my church. I need to at least be here on Tuesday. He said, well, I need you here on Wednesday. I said, yes, sir. So I had to go in my pocket to spend hundreds of dollars to get a ticket to Nassau, Bahamas. It is not a vacation. I'm flying out on Wednesday, coming back first thing Thursday to be in a staff meeting on Thursday afternoon. But here's why I'm going. The bishop that I have submitted to has required me. Is there anybody in your life who can require you? Spoon, my church ain't as big as his, but my reputation, I preach as much if not more than Bishop. But you know what? I'll never disrespect him. I ain't crazy. Are y'all feeling this? And this is the generation that loves to disrespect authority. And I'm going to be very frank. Some of it is because of what we as preachers have created. But when God gives you a man or a woman you can look to as a positive example, you don't take that relationship lightly. Are y'all hearing me? So I stay correction ready. It is nothing for my dad to pick up the phone, call me, tell me I need to work on something. And the stuff that I have not listened to them about, I have regretted the decision. So when I go home to preach, I stay at my mom and dad's house. And if my mom and dad say, I want to talk to you, I sit there and I listen. The men and women that I look to as spiritual leaders, I respect them, Carla. So you will never see me acting familiar with men and women that I look to. The first danger for some of you is that you're too familiar with the men and women you ought to be looking up to. James, you are not my equal, son, and just because I talk to you don't mean we're friends. You don't want to be my best friend, and I need to correct you. Are y'all here? I stay correction ready. So at any moment, I can be corrected. I can be, and no offense comes with it. I can be corrected by my wife. No offense. Here's why. Because you need to create relationships with people who you know care about you and are trying to protect you. So when you correct me, when your mom corrects you, she's protecting you. So this rebellious tendency to want to talk back is setting you up for spiritual failure. Man, y'all teenagers better learn to be quiet. Don't you raise your mouth to your mama. Don't you do it. If you can't pay the bills, you ain't got no opinion. That ain't your house. You just occupying space. Because I promise you, if they die, your name ain't on it. Come on, come on. That's why when you young people here, you got to develop, son, the ability to be corrected. Here's why. Because people that can be corrected tend to not go to jail. I've never been arrested. I've never been to jail. I've never been in rehab. You want to know why? Because I'm scared of the police. And if they even think, if I think they might put me in handcuffs, I go straight to punk. Just want you to know. I cry quicker than you can ever. I beg them. I'm sorry. I won't do it no more. I'm sorry. Call me whatever you want. I ain't been to jail. I don't know what to do with an 8 to 12. I don't do 8 to 10. I don't want my toilet so everybody can see, and I don't want to be sleeping under somebody that's got, I don't know. I don't want to be the baddest man in the jail. I stay corrected ready. I can be corrected. There's some people that are not here tonight that have sent the wrong message to me. It says they can't be corrected. So now I got to make some decisions. Because I can't attach myself to folk that don't understand seasons. Number 2, this is huge. The second building block is I trust and submit to experts. I trust and submit to experts. One of the most important things that have happened in my life is I submit to experts. What is an expert? Someone who does it better than me that will help me do it better. I submit to experts. Some people wonder, why did I have Kenny Atkins here on Monday? Kenny Atkins, Pastor Atkins, and all of his Pastor Atkins-ness. You want to know why I have him here? Because he's the man who has taken my Google numbers from less than 10,000 in May. Here are my Google numbers as of Monday. How many people who over the country who have looked for me via the internet? Here's my Google numbers. 186,000. 186,000 people have asked, who is John Guns? Now just imagine that I could take that number and quantify that. Quantify means I could take that number and add a value to it, Tommy. You know how much money 186,000 Google hits are? When it's done right? Why do you think, how do you think some of this stuff is done? How do you think they determine who's hot? What's the word now? Who's trending? Here's what's amazing. Kenny Atkins is an expert at marketing and PR. He does it so well till he took Operation Save Our Sons, which was going to be about 150 kids, and he turned it into a citywide event where over 1,000 people came, 1,000 kids came. The boy is so good till he's made Operation Save Our Sons relevant. He's an expert. So you know what I do? I listen to him. Let me tell y'all this. When you get to a certain level in your life, you're going to need 3 people in your life. A banker, a CPA, and a lawyer. And they're going to all need to be able to tell you, shut up, I got it. Here's what's deep. If you're the smartest person in your circle, you're in a dumb season. Come on. And every ministry leader needs to build a team of people that's strong in something that you don't have to be good at. I don't want Artesia to be the best person on the whole team. Everybody ought to be better than our teacher in something. The leader is the person that can galvanize the abilities and skills of others to get the vision done. Put your ego aside and stop feeling the need to be smarter, prettier, and better than everybody around you. Which means some of you keep attracting ugly people because you need to be the finest thing. I'm trying to help you. And I'm not just talking about looks. I'm talking about skill. I'm talking about attitude, everything. You keep attracting people that are broke, so they're going to always need to pay for you. You're going to always be paying for everybody. What good is it to be the big baller when you are still little? Come on, guys, wake up. Are y'all here? This is key. This is key. This is vital. So here's what's deep. You ready? I understand my limits. No. It's two. This is still under number two. Number two. I understand my limits, and I embrace others' ability who are excellent and efficient. I understand my limits. That's the very first thing. You can't trust experts until you understand your own limits. And then but watch this, but you got to embrace others' ability. But here's what you're looking for, Devin. Stephanie, watch this, Aharia. You're looking for people who are excellent and efficient. I don't need you to work so hard till you drain me. Are y'all still here? I'm teaching over your head to bring you to your next level. You have to create an environment where experts feel comfortable being around you. Apple listen, Steve Jobs got all the credit for Apple, but he ain't create the iPad. Come on, guys. Here's what's huge. Okay, some big black dude walk all the way up here and then walk back, and you don't expect nobody to look at you. Even I stopped and said, okay. Watch this. Watch this. Steve Jobs got all the credit and the money and the fame. But there was a team of people back up in a room, and he the guy that walked out and said, here's the iPad, y'all. And we all said, Steve Jobs is the man. Okay, here's the question. When you started at this church, what was your skill set in terms of ministry?
Nothing.
Nothing. His skill set was, I go to church. He wasn't even a deacon. He was a person, a member. He was a member. Wasn't even a good one. He's just here, trying to love Jesus. Shut up. Listen. Now, what are you?
Executive pastor.
Yes, you are. How close are you to earning your master's, your second master's?
4 more classes.
All right. What is your expertise?
Leadership development.
And what do I let you do?
Develop our leaders.
Do I bother you?
Nope.
I do not. Let me help you. Tiffany, how much do I bother you by praise and worship now? Not at all. Do I? When you send me all these long spiritual texts. I mean, long. She done heard the Lord at 3 a.m. I was praying, and as I was praying, and I saw angels flapping around, speaking in heavenly language. Pastor, I believe that praise and worship, blah, 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 blah. And then what do? Right, like, all right, or awesome. That's my I'm done talking to you. Or cool. When I say that, that means I trust you. It doesn't mean I'm blowing you off. It means I trust you. Why? Because I figured out I can't do everything and do everything. So I'm good at trusting experts. So you know what I'm trying to do here? I'm trying to develop experts. I'm trying to develop people who have such an excellent skill set in certain areas that I don't bother them. So Pastor BJ, I don't want to do some of the stuff that folk trying to get me to have conversations about. You want to know why? Because I ain't got time. Live your life so no is an obvious answer to some things. Listen, I'm a baseball fan, Big Papi. Tonight, well, I know most of y'all don't care, but tonight, Boston plays for the World Series. It's 3-2. I'm so excited. That's why I'm going to be done soon. And please understand, when I get finished, I'm not speaking. I'm leaving. Do not get offended. It is not about you. It is about the Boston Red Sox. David Ortiz is not a very good first baseman, but he's an amazing designated hitter. And you want to know why he gets paid millions of dollars? To come up 4 times a night and swing at a ball. He's perfected swinging at a ball. He ain't trying to pitch. He ain't trying to catch. He ain't trying to field. He does one thing: swing at a ball. You know you can be a millionaire doing one thing. You know there's a millionaire somewhere in the world who takes doo-doo and turn it into fertilizer. It's somebody in the world that cuts down trees and has millions of dollars. To the point now, they don't cut down trees no more. All right, y'all still here? Okay, second principle, I trust experts. And then I submit to them. Number 3, this is going to scare some of y'all. I only build relationships with destiny in mind. All right, I need everybody in the room to get number 3. I only build relationships with destiny in mind. I only build relationships with destiny in mind. I need every man and woman that's single to stop dating because you lonely. Seriously, stop dating because you lonely. I don't want to be in the house all the time. I just want to go out. Let me help you. Stop practicing with a life that's in the playoffs. Seriously, guys, you cannot treat your life like it's an experiment. Come on, you got to get this. My relationships are destiny driven. I don't trust relationships for the sake of. So when I started looking, when I became open for a wife, I had a clear criteria. She had to look like this. And I ain't talking about hair and nails and body build, because I'll take fat and anointed over thin and crazy. Because I can work around all that. Shut up, Shira. We ain't acting scared around here. See, here's the problem. Some of you have a criteria that attracts stuff that keeps breaking your heart. You got to start asking this question: where do I want to be? Who do I want to be? And who's going to get me there? Listen. If I want to get to Virginia, I have different options to get there. But if I need to get there in 3 hours, I can't drive a car. So I gotta pay the cost of a ticket. The kind of relationship that fulfills you come with a price. And when you finally end up in a relationship worth something, you gotta keep paying it so it don't become cheap. Okay? You got to keep paying the price so the relationship doesn't become cheap. So watch this. Everybody write down Joshua chapter 2. I chose this passage for this reason. Rahab was a prostitute. When the spies came into Jericho, she cut a deal. And here's her mindset. If all this is going to get destroyed, I'm going to connect to somebody that can get me and my family out. I'm going to be very, 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 very honest with everyone in this room. I have real concerns about the people I see you claiming to be your friends on Facebook. And I'm going to tell you why. Because some of the choices you're making have train wrecks written all over them. Their lifestyles are trashy. The way they manage life is trashy. I'm trying to help you. That's why you came. You didn't come for me to pat you on the back. You came for me to help you. Some of you have allowed people into your space whose lifestyles you don't sanction, but you tolerate it. And here's what's deep. And you're bringing people you love into those environments and giving them permission to think what you are tolerating is agreeable with your spirit. No, y'all better hear your pastor, because I'm here to help you. Is that the direction you want your life to go in? Start looking at your relationships honestly. Your friends, your business relationships. And I'm not even talking about the stuff you think I'm talking about. I'm not talking about homosexuality. I'm not talking about none of that tonight. I'm talking about something much bigger than that. Here's what I'm talking about. Some people have a history of doing nothing right, even though they're gifted. If you see that every relationship they end up in is destructive, why are you going to trust that you're going to be the difference if there's no maturity yet? Come on, guys, get this. Listen, here's one of the reasons I'm teaching this. Because there's people I've allowed to get close to me that I should have checked their background. And if I saw a pattern of behavior, I should have had a red flag. But I didn't. Because I looked at gift and not cycle. If every woman he leaves hates him, no, if there are women he leaves and they hate him, do you really think? Stop living as Messiah. Release the idea. So if you choose to be with him, know he gonna sleep around. Accept it. That's who he is. Don't sit around here thinking you're gonna fix it. He is who he is. She is who she is. That's the choice you made. Accept it. I refuse in this season of my life to trust anybody. Hey, no, that's all right. Come on, walk on around. Come on. You good? You good? Right. Not sure why you walked all the way around here, but he told you to walk around? Okay, he did. Okay, I'm going to get him. It's not your fault. See, you submitted to authority, and the authority gave you bad advice. Ain't your fault. Okay, watch this. I'm back. Watch this. Why am I raising this? Here it is. Because, wow, really? I mean, we have just gone to hell in the last 2 minutes. I've lost all control. And that's my expert. And now I'm alive. All right, watch this. I know, right? It gets all out of whack. Now I got to bring it back together. Thank you for trying to make me feel important. Watch this. Let me tell you why I'm saying this. This is huge, Kay. This is huge, Brittany, why I'm saying this. Because I know what it feels like to have people in your space that are not affecting your destiny. They start to take more from you. But out of loyalty, you keep them around until you lose your direction, calling it loyalty. I've made the mistake. I'm not just teaching this from success. I made the mistake. I've let people get close, and they brought nothing. They took more, and I gave it to them, feeling like that was my assignment. So I've made the mistake. I understand, Tiffany, the mistake. So Lady Guns is an intentional choice. Arrogance, I had more than one choice. I did. Like most of y'all in here, you got more than one choice. So you got to start saying, what's destiny? Not what makes me feel good, not what makes me look good. What's destiny? Who can handle the weight of my evolving identity? Because I don't need you to think you know me based upon when you met me. Because if I do life right, I'm going to keep growing. And the last thing I want to do is outgrow you. So what is the evolution of your own understanding of life? And that's why, son, you got to start even now. Who should be your best friends? Man, do not become best friends with the girl in church who got more issues than she got children. No, seriously. Don't make her your best friend. She gonna work you, especially when you here and she ain't. Look around this room and see who didn't come. And check, can you trust them? No, I'm serious. You want to know why I'm doing this? Because I see some of you on the verge of something amazing. The problem is you're making these subtle mistakes that have monumental impact. They're subtle. So I'm telling you now, I would love to walk up to you and say, you got to release that relationship. But I can't, because you can't, because you ain't number one. You ain't correction ready. So I can't walk you and say, you know what, that's really a bad move. I can tell you it's a bad move. I've seen how bad it is. Listen, real talk, too much transparency, but I'm going to tell you. My parents told me, don't. And I did. And whatever you want to put in that, I don't care. I'm free enough to say amen. Now watch this. Your relationships then must be intentionally constructed. Watch this. They must be intentionally constructed. Aharia, they must be intentionally constructed based on, watch this, Cotton, a God-deposited, life-discerned criteria. Okay, I'm going to back up and say it again. Your relationships are intentionally constructed. Son, you start looking for the people that can be your friend without getting you in trouble. They are intentionally constructed based on a God-deposited, life-discerned criteria. What does that mean? That means as life evolves, you start determining what criteria you make relationship choices by. See, you're wiser now than you were 5 years ago. So now you're making a major revelation, Artisha. Here it is. When you get to this point, you go through what looks like lonely.